High iron or hemochromatosis doesn't have to be this big difficult thing that we're trying to figure out. It still comes back down to the movement of iron. So the way that I think of things as genes has more to do with a sleeping bear. So if you go for a walk in the woods, knowing that a sleeping bear is absolutely helpful, but the fact that the bear is sleeping means that we don't have to worry about it, right? Sleeping, as long as we don't wake the bear, then everything is fine. But what happens if we wake the bear and we start poking the bear, then that's when we're going to run into trouble. And so I like to think of that as the same way as genes. So if we have genes where we are more predisposed to absorbing a lot more iron, then we don't want to poke the bear, which means that we don't want iron to be dysregulated. Part of the reason I have that view on it comes from the Bantu in South Africa. So they use like cast iron. They had these iron pots that they were making their food in, and they were consuming, it depends on who you look at. Some people will say between 50 to 100 milligrams of iron a day. There are some other people that will say up to 200. So the amount really varies, but we know that we need 1 milligram of iron a day from our diet, and that it's the recycling system of iron that's within inside us that is really, really important. And that's where we are going to make sure that we have copper, but that we have iron that is going to be in movement. And that's important also that we have copper in order to do that. So what these people have shown us is that if we are getting too much iron, then that is an issue. So now what they found is there are lots of people that have hemochromatosis that come from this lineage. So when we look at that, if you think of the sleeping bear, it can be there, and if we are making sure that iron's moving, that we don't have anything to worry about. Same thing when we are looking at different versions of this. So beta thalassemia, I actually have a client who has it, and I was so excited because she was pregnant, and I was working with her for a very short period of time. I want to say 3 weeks when she gave birth, and the doctors were shocked because her hemoglobin levels had improved higher than they were before she became pregnant. So it comes back down to the movement of iron. And if we support the body to do that, then it doesn't matter that we have these genes. It's nice to know that they're there. But if we're supporting with the movement of iron, then we're doing all of the same fundamental things. So whether it's high iron or low iron, if we support the body for the movement of iron, then both of them are going to be covered off. Now, there are different things that can help. So for example, a blood donation can be really helpful. But it's also really important to keep in mind that you are losing iron and you are also losing other minerals. So if we can build the body up to a state of balance before we do a blood donation, then that can be helpful too, so that you're not losing other minerals too. You've built up to it, and that can be really helpful. If you're interested in learning more, I have just released a course on the fundamentals of iron's movement, and you can check it out in my bio.